Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Grevin coming to you from Chicago. As usual, we've got some fun stuff today. I've got a couple of clips. One's a pro se, one's a SovCit. And then I've got an article that was mentioned to me in the comments about sovereign citizens going wild out in California. And I thought we'd just read through that together and, and have a little discussion about it because it's pretty crazy. So let's get this party started. Since it is sovereign citizen themed, we have to go. We have to go to the patrol. From the secret headquarters of the Sovereign Citizen Patrol, initiating video production sequence. We are no longer playing. So let's get revved up. It's time for Law Talk with Mike. Okay, so this is done in Clayton County, Georgia. I did another one. It was a different judge who was just a buzzsaw. This one is too. She's actually super nice, but she does not have time for this nonsense. I suppose I should get on the screen, huh?
Daniel? Nazi, my apologies. Mr. McDaniel? You are charged with obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor count of obstruction of an officer. Your bond is $3,500, and you shall not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yeah.
That was a yes. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
This is a misdemeanor offense, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Please sign your waiver.
Can you explain the preliminary?
Sign your waiver. What would you say?
Can you explain the preliminary hearing again?
No, you can. You don't understand it, so I'm going to go ahead and set it now for July 5th. And I'm not being mean, but we got to get this rolling. So if you still don't understand, that means you're not able to.
Sorry, I understand. I'm waiving it.
So you just wanted me to explain it, and then all of a sudden you understand it?
No, because I remember what they was telling me back there. I'm sorry, but I
remember now.
I understand.
Okay, so you do understand it. You do want to waive. Okay, sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy, and then your next court date will come in the mail. Okay.
Oh, now you understand. I just thought that was kind of cute. She is in a hurry, and that's the only reason. This call's on Saturday, and it was loaded. It was loaded, and he's like, "Hey, can you explain the preliminary hearing?" The answer is you don't want a preliminary hearing if you have a misdemeanor. You're not going to beat your charge on the preliminary hearing, so you're creating another pointless court date. It is your right, however, so you have to waive it, and that's all the judge wants to hear. But he said, "Could you explain it to me?" She's like, "I'm going to set this preliminary hearing." I do not have time for this.
Okay. Have a good day.
Hi, this is Ali with the Sovereign Citizen Patrol, and thanks to all your generous support, I'm getting belly scratches. So please remember to hit like and subscribe so I get some more.
Oh, hi, Sandy. That's pretty out there. Nice to have you around. The accents aren't real thick, but this is a real Canadian sort of deal here. Between the shirt and the background, it's kind of neat to see. I of course poached this from Van Bellion, and I edited most of that out, but it's a good clip.
Hi, officer.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. Mind rolling down the window so we can talk? What's that?
I can hear you.
Okay, we're going to start it this way. License and registrations, you're being investigated for excessive speeding. I had you at 144 kilometers an hour in a 100 zone.
What about this, Nancy?
Plus you are passing on a double solid line. License and registration.
What's your name and badge number?
License and registration, or else I'm going to be detaining you for obstruction.
I will get that for you. Don't worry. I just want your name and badge number.
Step out of your vehicle, please.
Why?
Step out of your vehicle. You're being detained right now for obstruction.
I'm going to give you the information you want.
I asked you to step out of your vehicle.
I need a supervisor, please.
I do like this cop though. He is straight to it, very fast. I mean, he just the first time he hears this nonsense, he goes, "All right, you got to step out of your vehicle. That's it. I've had enough."
Step out of your vehicle.
I'm scared.
Step out of your vehicle now, please.
I need a supervisor.
Right now, you're being detained.
I will comply with everyone.
Sir, please step out of your vehicle.
I will give you my license and registration.
Sir, I've asked you to step out of your vehicle. You're being detained.
What purpose do I need to step out of my vehicle
Step
for?
out of your vehicle, sir.
What purpose?
Sir, you've been detained right now for obstructing a police officer. I need you to step out of your vehicle.
I'm worried. I need a supervisor.
All right. That's
Sir, I need you to step off your vehicle and step out of your vehicle right now, please.
I need a supervisor, please.
There it is.
Yep, I'm going to be doing that in a second. So, sir, I just have something to read to you.
Yeah.
I just have something to read to you for the
Lego
driving behavior.
Vicky.
So, sir, in accordance with the provision of the Criminal Code and lawful execution of my duty, you're required to provide a sample of your breath into an approved screening device when operating a motor vehicle. I hereby demand that you provide a sample of your breath immediately, suitable for analysis using an approved screening device, and to accompany me for the purpose of enabling such samples to be taken. Do you understand?
What crime have I committed?
Pardon me?
What crime have I committed?
Sir, do you understand that? I just...
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you, Ian. For those of you who don't know, this is Runkle the Bailey. I know him as Ian. We've got a real Canadian situation. I'm not sure where. Someone in the chat suggesting it's Alberta.
Okay. If
And
so,
this guy-
then that's my neck of the woods.
It's a short clip, but this guy he pulls him over and he won't get out, and then he asks him for a breath sample.
Okay, I assume he's reading them. I saw a little bit. I assume he's reading them the formal demand for a breath sample.
Yeah, and boy, don't mess around.
No. I know in some states if they ask you for a breath sample, it's kind of an optional thing. In Canada, it is a demand with legal consequences if you refuse. So,
yes, this cop is like, I'm not doing this.
Question, do a mandatory breath sample. Do you understand?
I don't answer questions.
I need
sorry.
you to step out of your vehicle.
When your supervisor gets here, I will comply.
Pardon me?
When your
That's
supervisor
not an
gets here, I will
option.
comply.
Sir, that's not the question. You'd have to comply right now. You've just been advised to do a mandatory breath sample. Or are you going to step out of the vehicle and comply?
I need a supervisor.
If you do not comply,
All right, this is actually awesome that you're here. I don't even know the answer to this in the United States, but do you have a right to a supervisor in Canada? I mean,
nope, and certainly not at the. You can't say I'm going to provide a sample when your supervisor gets here. It's you do it or you're refusing, and if you're refusing, then if you don't have a lawful excuse, which there aren't a whole lot of. But a lawful excuse might be something like I've just been shot and therefore I can't provide a sample right this second because
okay, it's that level, right?
well, or I have a medical condition that prevents me from doing so. There are a bunch of things that could qualify, but typically what people want to trot out in these circumstances aren't those things. So I'd rather have a supervisor is not one of them. And the other one that gets a lot of people, and I actually think the law should be changed to fix this, is people saying, I just want to talk to my lawyer to know if I have to comply with this. Because at the roadside, you don't actually have that right. And yeah,
Yeah.
So
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, you're nailing it because that's that. Well, at least that's exactly what the cop is saying to him here. Do you ever deal with DUIs? I know you do like firearms and like defense and stuff in Canada, but do you ever deal with DUIs?
Oh yeah, lots of impaired stuff. Although they're actually making it pretty much impossible to defend against, and they're taking it out of the criminal code basically and making it so it's like this weird process that basically presumes you guilty before you get into a courtroom.
Yeah,
it's messed up. So a lot of the work is going out of that field because basically it's a process to just kind of shuffle people into a conviction at this point or into a driving ban.
Yep.
So fun times.
Punishment for not complying is the same as if you provide a sample and you blow over. Do you understand?
I will provide a sample. I'm not drunk.
Then you need to step out of your vehicle right now, sir.
I'm worried for my safety. I need a supervisor, please.
Sir, you're not.
Yes, I am.
So just so you know, if you do not step out of your vehicle and comply, that is going to be a refusal.
I am complying with you. I don't understand why you want me out of the vehicle. The only reason I am worried about getting out of my vehicle. Would you like my driver's license?
Sir, I need you to...
I want to help you. I will give you a breath sample, but I do not want to step out of my vehicle.
That is not the option. The option is to step out of the
Well,
vehicle.
I need a supervisor then, so I can get a second opinion.
I need you to step out.
I'll tell you what, it's a pretty place to get pulled over for DUI. I mean, you don't want to get pulled over for DUI anyway, but this is that's nice scenery.
It is, and the officer actually can demand that the guy accompany the officer for the purpose. So usually they want them out of, they want you out of your car and into usually the back of the police cruiser is where they'll
I was wondering, it's really cool to have because you actually do this because I wouldn't know in Canada. So he says, well, he offers to give a sample through the window and the police officer says, nope, we're not doing it that way.
Yeah, he can make him come back to the car for that purpose. Sometimes they'll let you do it through the window, but it's on his call.
Yep.
Right now, please.
I will give you a breath sample. I will give you my ID. I will give you my insurance. I do not want to step out.
How this works.
I do not want to step out of my vehicle.
Sir, we do not work on your timeline and what you want. You've been detained right now for obstruction. Plus, you've been detained for fail to provide a sample.
I will give you the sample.
You have to do it immediately, which means forthwith.
Then give it to me and I'll give it to you. I'll do it through the window.
Sir, if you do not step out right now, it's going to be a refusal. We're not doing that at a later date.
I will do it right now.
Really patient.
Exactly.
Pardon me?
I will do it right now.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah, the cop is being real patient right now.
Yeah.
I need you to step out of the vehicle for such samples to be taken.
I don't want to step out of my vehicle.
Then that is going to be a refusal. So now you're being detained for a refusal of the breath command.
Wow, you guys are such tyrants, man. Give me the sample.
Get put your phone on top of there, please.
That talked him into it, though. And I like that you guys are such tyrants, which, I mean, I can make a fine argument that Trudeau's a tyrant. I really can. But but this particular police officer seems well within his rights here.
Now, the making him stop recording is a little more interesting. There could potentially be an argument around that, but
that's also interesting. It comes up more right here. You'll see.
Walk with me over here.
I want to be on camera.
Sir?
I want to record this. That's all. I just want to record
Hands
this.
behind your back, please. You're being detained. For my safety and yours.
Sure. Just stay in front of my camera, please.
Sir, over here, please.
I want to stay on my camera for my safety.
This is interesting.
I don't want to go away from my camera.
Sir, let go of your own hands.
Sorry.
Over here, please. We're going back.
Here, pause it for a second.
Yeah, I just love that. Yeah, okay, I'll put the cuffs on right there. Then now you're cuffed, and I'll yank you away from your camera. There.
Well, the thing is that he says he's being detained, but he's probably actually being arrested at this point. And that's a pretty critical distinction in terms of things. That triggers all sorts of rights that he's got when he's arrested. That said, he's already being told why he's being arrested. So he's probably not, that's probably not going to help him. But it's interesting.
Interesting. Dinged up car. CMHA? It might be. I don't know.
No,
It's a little off.
You recognize that patch?
Um,
Is that Alberta?
I think these are RCMP, which is across Canada, but I'm not certain. I'd have to have a look. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah, there's not a great view of it there.
Did you see where? Yeah, that's RCMP.
He has some history out of the Lower Mainland, but it's old, like tires missing.
Did you also hear them asking?
Very few.
Is he MHA?
What?
Did you hear them asking? Is he MHA? Which is he Mental Health Act?
No, I totally wouldn't have caught that, and it's a darn good question at this point.
Yeah, they've got some concerns as to whether or not they're. I mean,
oh yeah, it's mental state.
This guy might end up getting what's called Form 10 if this is in Alberta, and that means he goes off to the mental hospital for them to sort out whether or not he's a danger to himself or others. So yeah, that's fun.
You know, it's interesting because like I do a lot of DUIs too. I actually have, by the way, I have a whole Canadian playlist of sovereign citizens. I wanted to get you in. I had this woman who declared herself Queen of Canada. And it's not the Queen you're thinking of in England. No. This is whole thing, and it was fantastic.
Romana Digilo.
You were literally in the middle. You were literally in Virginia at the time. I'm like, I'm not dealing. He doesn't have to deal with this. the man is not sleeping.
Yeah, no, that I wouldn't have been able to do, unfortunately.
Right.
But,
Okay, so like I said in the intro, and according to the original video description, which I will link below, he was arrested and charged with failure to comply with a DUI breathalyzer, which is pretty much the same as blowing a positive for a DUI, which got his license suspended for 90 days and his car impounded for 7 days. He also says he is potentially facing between $5,000 and $10,000 in fines and legal fees, and if found guilty, could also have his license suspended for an additional year.
All right, does that sound right?
Depends on province. Some of those things are provincial penalties, and some of those things are criminal charges. So it really depends on which province as to whether or not that's accurate. If it's Alberta, then it really also depends on which time it is, because they change things. I see people in the chat saying it might be in British Columbia. British Columbia's got different rules, and I don't practice in British Columbia typically. I'd have to look that up. But
all right. Where's the nearest place to ski where you are?
Nearest place to ski is probably Banff. So
I haven't been to Banff. I've done Whistler Blackcomb and some little places in Ontario near me, but I hear good things out there.
I'm told it's nice. The only reason I've been to Banff was people being charged with crimes, and so I wasn't actually getting any skiing in.
That sounds like work right there.
Yeah.
All right, I've got another one. We've got some crazy SovCits. Now, this is firearms. It's not Canada. It's California.
Okay.
It's about a 3-paragraph article.
Let's have a look.
Are you in? All right, let's do it. Let me see here. I'm just gonna have to. I don't know. I'm not good at the screen sharing and all this business. Let me see what I can do here. Okay. June 20th. What is it? So that's today. 3 people were arrested in California over the weekend, found with guns, explosives, while claiming to be so-called sovereign citizens. Officers initially stopped a vehicle for traffic violation. I'm not going to say the address. Outside Joshua Tree National Park. They found live ammunition, black gunpowder, and an improvised military-grade explosive device inside the vehicle, according to deputies.
So it doesn't work. Because military grade is always funny, because the first thing military folks do if they have the option is get other stuff. Military grade is made by the lowest bidder for, and used by people who have no choice. It's typically so.
That's what's funny is like it's like if you're accustomed to this stuff and you are. I don't know a lot about firearms or whatever, but like the military grade, I'm just telling you because I know the media in this country is intended to make this more salacious. It's intended to jack it up and make it sound better.
which military uses improvised explosive devices? By definition, that's not military grade because no military. This is probably like a pipe bomb or some stupid thing like that.
Well, this is what we always get on here. I've been doing sovereign citizen stuff for a while, and usually they're just dumb. They say, I don't need a license. I have a right to travel. Stuff like this, sort of harmless, and then they lose in court and get mowed over. Okay, fine, that's funny. But
yeah,
everyone's
less
always saying,
funny
"No,
when they're doing this stuff.
They're going to get really serious."
Yeah, they're also less funny when they show up in like the domestic violence courtrooms.
Yeah,
arguing that they've got that they're immune to from prosecution. It's like, dude, the allegation is that you beat your wife.
Right.
This shit's not funny when you're doing that. So
wow, I have not come across one of those yet. Probably because they're not showing those hearings.
Yeah, I mean, Canada, we don't televise our hearings, so you miss out on a lot of that stuff. But we also had a real reduction in the amount of SovCit crap that was happening around here because of a case called Meads and Meads. And basically what that case, it's a wonderful case. If you haven't read it, you should, because it's cited. I've seen it cited in the US. I've seen it cited in all sorts of places.
Yeah, I've read, it's a long opinion, but it's good. Oh, it's good.
Oh, it was basically that they were tired of these guys, and so they wrote this real long opinion trashing them. But it gave the courts permission to basically just say, now we're done with you. When people started up with their SovCit stuff, instead of having to figure out like, okay, do we have to actually parse out this ridiculous argument and treat it like it's actually a position? So what it ended up meaning was that these guys would walk into court and they'd start in going, I refuse to return to the, I refuse to board the ship. And they'd be like, okay, cool. Contempt. You can come out of cells when you feel more inclined to, entertain the process. That really shut them down in a big way.
And I like that in England and in Canada, the crazies like to call themselves freemen on the land.
They do indeed, and there's this whole like mythology about why it's freemen on the land, and that's that whole land versus sea thing, because they have this notion of maritime law, and it's kind of fun to pick into it because it has this weird nonsensical internal consistency, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of like a fairy tale, like nursery rhyme world that they want to live in. And because in that fairy tale nursery rhyme world, they get to ignore laws like, you need to insure your car and you need to pay taxes. And, you can't steal your neighbor's house and those kinds of things. So, yeah,
it's a trip. Yeah, well, but it's indistinguishable. I mean, I don't know why they use different terms, but in essence, it's the same. And of course, we've got more sovereign citizens too, which is, but at a fundamental level, it's all the same.
We get some of those too. It's strange, and the ones in Canada like to cite a lot of U.S. law, and it wouldn't be the right U.S. law to cite even if you were in the States, but they love the U.S. Commerce Clause, or U.S. is it the
UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code? They're always
there
citing.
you go.
I don't. Which is odd because they don't believe in statutes, and then I'm like, that's a statute. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
They don't make sense, but they love to try.
Let me see what happened to these guys here real quick. All right. While continuing to investigate, deputies learned additional explosives were located on property in Johnson Valley, the department said in a release. With the help of bomb and arson specialists, officers searched the remote sovereign citizen compound in Johnson Valley, California. They found further military-grade explosive, ammunition, firearms, also arrested a woman at the compound. What else do we have here? All right, they say, that's boring. They say the sovereign citizen reject government authority in any form. The movement is growing, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Well, there you have it. Although, I mean, the Southern Poverty Law, you may or may not be aware of this. So the Southern Poverty Law Center has all the credibility of Amber Heard. They they may or may not be correct. I don't know if it's growing.
They started out really good in terms of the credibility, and then they kind of went and leaned more into the marketability, it looks like. So, yeah, they've lost a lot of regard in a lot of circles.
Well, that's typical. I mean, most good causes become rackets over time, and you see it time and time again. And it probably started with at a good place, but the ACLU it's a very similar scenario.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it used to be they were the people who would absolutely defend rights, and less so now.
Yes. Well, now they have an agenda, which is not rights. It's something else. But that's what happens with these things. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming by. I just had a short one, and it was nice. This was actually perfect because we had guns and explosives and Canadians.
It's there's a whole lot of them in Canada, but sadly, I wish we filmed more because if we had more court footage, some of the stuff I've seen in court has been wild.
I saw somewhere, was it on your channel or someplace else, that they're talking about just outlawing guns for everybody in Canada?
Not quite, but they are wanting to ban the purchase of any new, or the transfer of any handguns. So that I don't approve of.
Right.
But I mean, they're not. They wouldn't be saying that I, couldn't keep the handguns I have yet.
Well,
that's
the obvious next step, and then they grandfather it out, and
exactly.
Or they'll say you can't transfer it, and then we'll take care of it, as things go on. But yeah. Of course, you don't have a Second Amendment, so I don't know how it all plays out in the first. You don't. Whatever you have your scheme. I don't know what it is, but
it's basically that they say that firearm ownership is a privilege rather than a right, which is basically their rationale for making sure that there's no due process on a lot of firearm stuff. That I could rant for days on all of this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just gonna do some super chats. You're welcome to hang out or go along, but but thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, thank you for inviting me. I'm gonna slip off and try to do a little bit of leatherwork stuff in between. I've got I'm going live in about 45 minutes, so I will.
What channel?
That's on Runkle of the Bailey, and
on your channel. Okay.
Yep. And
all right, everybody go over there and check it out. It'll be awesome. I guarantee it.
I got Scott Cardinal coming on, who was one of the other people who was there at the at the Johnny Depp trial, and basically we're just going to reminisce and kind of talk about what that was like, and also talk about some of Amber Heard's made a lot of claims about what it was like out there, and
I might have to check that out.
They're not accurate.
Cool. Well, you and I have the distinction. We both know Rob.
Yep,
we have both met Rob in real life.
Yep, and Rob's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Although you fed him Malort, so that
I did.
That's practically a war crime, man.
It's all good. All right, Ian. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Talk to you later. Cheers.
All right. Talk to you later. Oh, well, that was fun. I threw an invite out, but I didn't know if Ian would show up. That makes my night. That was fun. But I did miss some super chats, and I've got to do it the old-fashioned way here. I need Yesenia taking care of this for me. Where's Yesenia when you need her? Let me see here. All right, we know that. Okay. I'm getting there. All right, I think this is the first one. Night of Knee. Canadian version would be a trifold A. Oh, Canada jokes. Who doesn't love Canada jokes? So does awaiting a supervisor preclude him from getting out of the car immediately? Apparently not. He eventually talked him into it. Which was the only wise thing the guy did. But he did actually manage to step out of the car. Kathy Richardson, $2. Always awesome to see Runkle. It really is. I've been on a bunch of streams with him, but I think it was the first. Well, I know it was the first time he was on Lawn Talk with Mike, and that was a lot of fun for me. All right, Holy Toledo, you guys are the best. There's so many messages. All right. I'm looking. I don't want to miss any. I needed to star these things. Sybaris, 1999. Thank you. You're my second first law channel, and you helped convince me to try for law school. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck. That is awesome. That warms my heart. Pat's Cats, $1.99. Blandino. I almost bust out the Blandino dance video just because my clips were short. I really like the clips, and I wasn't like, I'm not gonna just make stuff up here. I also wanted to go over that thing in California, which I think is odd. I really do. But my theory on that is not that sovereign citizens are growing. This sort of fringe element has always been around since the beginning of time, and I think that the same sort of people who do that might not call themselves sovereign citizens. They might just call themselves something else. But since that's been around lately, they use that as an excuse. But if no such thing as sovereign citizenship existed, I think these people would still think the same way, but it would be called something else. I don't think it's a grand growing movement. I think it's the usual fringe, not making, not really doing anything. All right. I hope I got all the super chats. I think I did. Thank you all for coming out. That was really fun. And I will talk to you all soon.